One of the major hurdles to open data practices being adopted widely is the effort they take. If open data practices were mostly about making data public, there would be no real hurdle. Making data public is easy. Making data public and useful is hard. In this short video, I will outline one way that we can make open data practices a part of the standard data analysis pipeline using an app, which we call the Metadata Assistant. Real data looks something like this. If someone was not intimately involved in the research that generated it, the dataset is just a mysterious collection of symbols. Placing one's data files in a public repository is easy, but the time-consuming part of open data practices is building the documentation for the dataset so others can use it. The data about the data, or the metadata. Generating metadata takes time because one must adequately describe each file and the contents of each file. For a dataset, this may mean describing every column, what it contains, how it was generated, how it should be interpreted, etc. If one asked for a dataset after a paper has been published, this is a daunting and possibly thankless task. The key to good metadata is proactive planning. We propose to develop an application specifically designed to ease the burden of creating good metadata, the Metadata Assistant. This app will sit between the members of a lab and any chosen data repository, making uploading data and metadata generation a single process. This app has three aims. The first aim is planning. The app will allow research supervisors to plan for the general structure of a data collection project. Research supervisors have a good sense of what files will be generated by a series of experiments based on the methods that their lab uses. This can be planned for in order to make for easy uploading, proactive metadata generation, and project management. The second aim is data and metadata curation. The app will use the plan generated by the research supervisor to signal what kinds of files need uploading. When these files have been uploaded, the app interface will provide for easy metadata entry. The third aim is metadata sharing. The app will provide an interface for generating rich documents containing the metadata, appropriate for sharing with colleagues. To see how the Metadata Assistant will work, consider the following scenario. Pam, the primary investigator on a project, is starting a project supervising Stan, a student. Using the application, Pam creates a basic plan outlining the files needed for the project. This project outline acts as initial metadata. The project outline will be saved to whatever repository Pam has selected. The app provides a common interface for any data repository. When Stan opens the project, he sees the plan that Pam has created. As the project progresses and he obtains data, he will use the application to upload the requested data files. The app provides an easy-to-use interface for inputting metadata based on the content of the data file. This metadata is then synced with the repository. Stan doesn't have to input all the metadata at one time. Stan might want to spread the work over some days. Importantly, the app can alert Pam and Stan that there is metadata missing. This makes the burden of creating metadata much less onerous. Once the metadata has been entered, the app can create rich text documents describing the dataset. These metadata files can be shared with colleagues either through the app or through the repository by saving to the repository from the app. In our data partner scheme, Stan is paired with a data partner, Donna. Donna could obtain the data and metadata directly from Stan or through the app if the repository were not public, or from the repository if it is public. The Data Partner Scheme allows to both train new researchers in open data practices and to check that the metadata created through the app is sufficient to successfully reproduce analyses from the data. When the project is complete and ready to be released, all files should already be synced to the repository. All that is necessary is making the chosen repository public, giving everyone access to the data and rich metadata files generated from the app. The first phase of development of the Metadata Assistant app will focus on the interface for the project planning and metadata creation, with useful features like scheduling the input of metadata. Phase 1 will be tied to a single repository type, for instance, Figshare, and a handful of data formats. If we obtain Phase 2 funding, we will expand the app to use many repositories, as well as expand the number of data formats the app can read automatically. Thank you for watching.